Hey guys, Swag Pup or Nate, whatever you want to call me. I know I've been doing quite a lot of story times lately. I'm sorry if you kind of like the normal content, but I've been getting good feedback on my story videos. So I've got quite a lot, in the bank, and I always remember lots more because I do have quite a couple of crazy stories. And the reason why I haven't had any usually like the kind of standard kind of form of Minecraft videos that I usually do is because a lot of people I record with are on holiday at the moment, and I forgot to pre-record with them, so that's why, guys. So getting into this video is about a food fight I had with a close friend of mine, who still is a close friend of mine, and we're just gonna call him Tim. So he's gonna be called Tim, and usually when we're in like the canteen, we like sit down like across from each other because we talk across, and like when we sit with our like, group of friends. And this one time he was eating a custard pudding. It was like a pudding with like a bowl with custard in, or like stuff in it. And like as a joke, when he wasn't looking, I threw like a pea in there, like a little green pea, into his pudding, like in the back, to try and see if he wouldn't find it, and he just eat it while I was eating it. And he saw it and he flicked it away. And I usually do this like a couple of lunch times, just like every now and then I just mess around with his food because I was being a complete asshole. But yeah, so I just throw something at his food or something, and like try and get his attention and something like that. I just try and piss him off. And this one lunchtime we sat around, and like I think like when we'd been playing football or something, and like he like didn't got challenged, or someone like fouled him or something, like something happened to him basically before we went in to eat. And he was eating, and like usual I picked up one of the like a pea from like his own plate when he wasn't looking, and then I proceeded to chuck it into his custard. And I checked into his custard, and then I was like having, me and my friend were laughing because like he was eating his food and he hadn't seen it yet, and like I thought I actually got him to this one time to actually not see it, and I thought, oh my god, he's actually gonna eat it like with the pudding and stuff, and like me and my other friend were like almost on the verge of just bursting out laughing because he's actually close to eating it. And then eventually he did notice it in his food, and we were like, oh crap. So he did notice it in his food, and he kind of like flicked it at me, like he flicked it straight at me, and it hit me, and I was like, what the hell? So like obviously I was like, I'm not gonna take this, I'm not gonna let him throw a pea at me. So I kind of like, I got a pea and I chucked it back at him, and then he like dipped his chip, like because he was having chips, he dipped one of his chips in his pudding, threw that at me. So I got the chip that he threw. I tried to throw at me, that it like didn't hit me. It hit the chair behind me. I picked that chip up, and I threw it as hard as I could, and it hit him straight in his eye. Like it hit him in the eye. So at that point, he started dipping in loads of his chips into his pudding and chucking them at me, and I was throwing them back. And obviously, I wasn't gonna like. He kept on throwing them at me, and I was throwing some of them at me. He was getting some like kind of, they was like kind of hitting my body, but nothing hit me in the face at all. And he kept on throwing these at me, like really quickly at me, and I was getting like, oh crap, it's like a minigun of chips dipped in custard. So I grabbed his custard, his cake thing, and then tipped it over his food, because that was the logical response I had to, take out his ammunition of custard. So I tipped his ammunition of custard out. He threw a couple of last chips. I threw one more chip at him. He kind of looked at his food with all the custard on it, looked up at me. We both looked at each other. It was kind of that look that was like, holy shit, it's about to kick off. And before I could even retaliate, before I know it, Tim grabs his whole tray of food that has custard everywhere, loads of chips with custard on them, peas on them, and he just flips the whole tray over at me. I'm lucky to dodge it. I kind of knew it was coming, was able to get back in time, but he flipped all his food at me, Then it was close to being a fist fight. Well, I say fist fight, where people were kind of like getting like arguing, like maybe a couple of pushes here and there, and then everyone got dragged out. I left the room. He was staying in the canteen because he was told he had to clean it up, and then I almost got excluded for it because they thought like I was trying to like hit him directly and bully him or something. And then after school, when I was getting told off and stuff, they were like, "Oh, we're calling your parents and stuff." I went into a room with him. We kind of talked things out, and they lifted the ban and stuff on me, which was pretty cool. And yeah, I got away with it, but it was a pretty crazy food fight, guys. I just wanted to tell you that, guys. Show you guys. So stay swaggy.